What's up, everybody? I'm back with another movie review, and today we are reviewing Captain Marvel. Yes, another Marvel movie. This one was released in 2019, and it's the origins and centered around the Captain Marvel character, a female main Marvel character. She's not, of course, the first female character in the MCU. We've had Black Widow and a few others, but not like this, centered in magnitude piece to it. So it's kind of a new take. But I got a lot of notes on it, so let's jump right down into the review. So this was sadly the first Marvel movie released after the death of Stan Lee. So as expected, they do a really nice Stan Lee tribute at the beginning of the movie. Now, there's still a Stan Lee cameo. I haven't talked about the Stan Lee cameos a lot in my Marvel reviews. I've seen them all, though. In every review, every movie I've watched from the Marvel MCU so far, I've seen him. This one has it. He's there. I know there's... I remember Noah said there's a few more that he's in, but not many more, so I'll make sure to look out for him. But they did a really nice tribute to him at the beginning of the movie, as they should, and so I thought that was done really, really well. It was really nice. It seemed like this movie took place in the 70s. We learned it actually takes place in 1995, but the misogyny in this movie is wild. How crazy it is with the army and the go-karting thing at the fair, and again, the army and just stuff like that. It's insane how crazy it is, and how she just gets hit on by people on the train and in a parking lot, the guy on a motorcycle. Pretty wild stuff there that I really, really noticed. There's an over-reliance on some pretty bad jokes in this movie. They were making some really the one in particular I will mention was, do you know what it means when you know what a cockpit means? What the fuck? That's not well executed. That's not even a well written joke. That's not a cool joke. That's so bad. And you kept just referencing it and referencing it and referencing it. Why? I don't understand why you did that, but I did not expect to see Agent Coulson or Nick Fury. It had been a while since we've seen Nick Fury in a movie, but this was their first movies. Okay, no, it wasn't their first movies, but it was the earliest versions of them we get to see in movies. Coulson we don't get to see as much as I thought we would. It's more so Nick Fury. And we get to see the origin of how he got the eye patch and why he only has one eye, because he starts off having both of his eyes just fine. And you know what it was? You know how he got his eye patch? You know, he needed it? He got his eye scratched by a cat. How insane! You kidding me? That's what it was? Oh my god. Why? That's really how he lost his eye? You gotta be kidding me. But yeah, that's how he did it. But it was cool to see them. Nick Fury's is great as always. So it was really, really cool to see them back in this movie. So this movie really had me paying attention because, the whole thing with the scrolls is they can take form of anybody that they want. So it was crazy. It's you have to pay attention. Okay, is this a scroll or is this the real person or the real thing? Why? You have to make sure. I was paying. So I was always really, really hyper focused on a lot of the main characters. So I thought maybe Nick Fury is actually a scroll, or maybe even Captain Marvel's a scroll, which she actually was for a little bit. Maybe it's the cat a scroll, is one of the other people a scroll. Most of them, other than Captain Marvel, never actually turned out to be a scroll, but it just has to keep me paying attention a lot. And I guess that was kind of the point. So they did well with that. This movie just felt like there was a lot of empty space in it. There's a pretty big plot. I mean, they're trying to give justice to the Skrull people, and just right the wrong with that, and defeat who she thought was the good guys, and then make herself turn out actually be the bad guys, and she thought it was the good guys, and then she's trying to also come under her own as a hero, and really just feel respected and be respected. So she has to go through a lot of that stuff. That's done well. It just felt like the plot was kind of empty. Which it's okay, I guess. But it doesn't. I guess the plot, I guess, just didn't feel as well executed as I thought it could be. It kind of just felt a little jank to me, and that's just kind of how I feel. It felt a little jank. I thought the soundtrack was good. It wasn't great. They once again used pop songs, kind of mixed with their own stuff, and it's done good. I wish there was a little bit more of it, but what there was good. So I like that. But again, I just kind of wish there was maybe a little bit more. The effects in this movie aren't the greatest. It's just, you can tell a little bit a lot of them are just kind of jank. They're not really like super well done, and that's not like well done in general, but like well done compared to other movies, just as recently as like Guardians of the Galaxy or even Doctor Strange. Compared to this movie, it does not compare, and so you can tell the difference when you're doing a marathon like we did. Maybe not when you watch them as they came out, but when they're in order. So yeah, so you could see that a little bit. So and they also just constantly were showing us the same flashbacks, just in different ways. And that's kind of how they did it in Black Panther as well. With like Captain Marvel, she's already partially established, and then we kind of just flash back to how she grew up and like everything, as well as her developing her powers now. It's more of a true origin story though than Black Panther. This is the first time we ever actually see her in full, so it's a little bit of a more new experience. But the flashbacks, I mean, yeah, we just saw the same, like her on the beach, or her with the go-kart, or her falling from the string thing at the army training, or the plane crash, or turned out to actually be like a setup thing. And so like that's fine, but I don't know, could you not have used different ones? Or like I don't know, it just felt like they were just they just felt like they ran out of stuff to use, and so they kept reusing the same stuff. It would have been nice if we saw something a little different. And I said, Black Panther has an underlying motive of racial equality. This movie also has an underlying power of women power and everything like that. But like Black Panther, it's not a huge piece of this movie. It's more just, her, like Captain Marvel just trying to establish herself as a true hero, and kind of like to start with MCU and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all of that kind of stuff. So, it's done well. I thought there's a lot of good stuff for that, especially with some of the stuff we see earlier in the movie and how it translates to how she's portrayed, or at least thought of later on in the movie. I think that was done really, really well. So that was good. What it definitely does have that underlying motive to it, which I know some people probably won't agree with, but I do personally. And I added this late, but I do want to talk about her powers a little bit. I felt like a lot of her powers are that she has a lot of powers that other characters have and the MCU characters have, but she either uses them in different ways, and they're just a little bit different for her. Like the flying, it's just like Iron Man, or like a lot of the blasting stuff, that's again Iron Man, or like some bunch of other characters. And I don't know, and then she has like stuff, and then her outfit, like her main outfit that we see, is like a mix of different colors, but actually ends up looking like Wonder Woman. It's not even Marvel, that's DC. And then she glows like the Flash. That's also DC. Like there's a crossover. Is this like a DC Marvel crossover? We got one of those. Yeah, we should get one of those. It would have been just, I don't know, it just felt like they really weren't unique. They were just kind of things we've already seen before. And I wish there was maybe a little bit more to the powers. So maybe she'll get some more as she pops up in future movies, because I feel like that she probably is going to be. But we'll just have to see what goes on with that. So that's all my notes. For my final score for Captain Marvel, probably 7 out of 10. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like, great either, in my opinion. That's going to do it for this review. If you've ever seen Captain Marvel, I'd love to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. And that's going to do it for this video as well. Stay tuned for other much more amazing content, including more movie reviews and other awesome stuff. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Goodbye.